What's up? It's Winslow, and try something new. Finally here. We'll see how this goes.
Welcome back to another episode of Winsnotes. It has been an entire year and a couple weeks since then, and you've missed absolutely nothing unless you're like, Duncan, I want another episode. Because a couple of you, which I talked about in a little bit, have like just over time, every now and then, it's just like there'd be one comment out of the blue like, hey, when's the podcast coming back? And then I'm like, you listened to this? Like me rambling on another platform in another way? But I guess I've said something like useful or, say intelligent, insightful, where the 18 episodes it's been so far. And let's just keep that going. I don't know. Try and get out of my head because as usual, I'm overthinking every single thing I do. Even though it seems like I'm very cool, calm, and calculated, the 3 C's, not all the time. Anyway, so yeah, we're back. This is the story of a girl. Wrong, tangent. We're already off to a terrible start, but anyway. This is Winsnotes, episode 19. I'm your host, Winslow. If you've been here before, welcome back. If this is your first time, I hope you enjoy it. There's something for everybody. But not every episode is going to be for everybody because I usually just kind of talk about whatever I'm feeling related to creativity, music, the drum and bass scene, or whatever you want to call that, the culture, all that kind of stuff. Someone commented on the post a couple weeks ago and I was like pitching this idea coming back more or less. I was like, we need somebody to speak for the culture because there's not many podcasts, other ones that like since COVID, like post-COVID, there aren't a whole lot of just like kind of chat podcasts. There's Mike Diaries, Colette Warren, definitely listen to that. Must Make, Jack Says it's going to come back. Jack, if you're looking at this, bring it back, when you have time, making all the sick music you do. There's One More Thing with Dave Jenkins. There's a couple more. There's Becky Safe has a podcast, I think. Curated by guys in the Netherlands. Just a couple, but not a whole lot of just like talking, chatting about ideas, things like that. And there's not enough of that. Everyone's doing the same thing. You might as well find something different, something for your early morning drive, your commute, or just sitting around, ignoring all the chores you got to do like laundry and dishes. If you got dishes in your sink, go do those while you listen to this. I promise it'll help the time go by. But yeah, that's the gist. Just chatting. Hopefully this time around I'm kind of aiming for not like 45 to an hour rambles like I used to, but mostly just like 20, 30 minutes. Try that. Try to keep it punchy, keep it nice. Spotify arrangements, you know what I mean? Everyone wants a 3-minute track these days instead of like a 6-7 minute odyssey. This is my version of that, all right? Even though this is on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all other podcast platforms, as well as Patreon early. Once I start the ball rolling, they'll be on there like a week or two early, these episodes. And still haven't lost my charm with these segues yet. As you can see, I'm just not even playing. This is all off top. I'm freestyling with a couple of notes. So with my notes, let's get into the first section. Yeah, which is follow. I got some notes. Trust me, there's a script, but I don't feel like editing this in the way I normally edit YouTube videos. So you're just gonna see how the sauce is made as I make it. So we got some notes. Follow me on all the socials everywhere. Just like, what else are you doing? I don't know. If you need something to scroll in the middle of like work, sitting on the toilet, things like that. You might see something funny by me posted. It might, levels of funny. Sometimes it's a 1, sometimes it's a 10, sometimes it's in the middle, But I try. For you, I try. Anyway, Also, there's a video version on YouTube if you want to see me ramble in moving picture form. Back in the, what was it, 30s, 40s, I don't know. Moving pictures became a thing. And then color TV and Technicolor and like whatever time that was. And now you can see me in 4K HD, unless I export this at a smaller resolution, because who really needs to see me in 4K for 45 minutes? Anyway. But yeah, let's just get into it. This is more just a recap episode to kind of talk about what I've been up to since the last one. The last one was, I'll say around like the 12th was the published 18th episode. And then, funny enough, like I looked when I was thinking about bringing it back, it was like the exact same day, give or take like a day. And I was like, oh, okay, it's been a whole year. Let me come back to this. So since then, there's been a lot of music. Gigs have picked up. Traveling a bit more, life stuff. I'm still a teacher. I'm still Mr. Winslow, all that good stuff. And yeah, let's get into that. So let's talk about music. So in this past year, there's been like his latest. There's a Class Dismiss EP, me going 140, and like even harder, like lean into the techie, kind of minimal sound, both still with my like approach to things. So it wasn't it's minimal for me, but not like minimal in the case of like QZB or anything. Also, as a recording of this podcast, QZB's album came out yesterday, and they didn't ask me to like push it or anything because who cares? Like I don't have that kind of clout, but I love it. I really love it. So, and I haven't even listened to it. I just bought it Bandcamp Friday, and I meant to listen to it, and I fell asleep because I'm an old man. We'll talk about that when I get to teaching. But yeah, minimal, it's kind of on the darker edge. Think like Mad Intense or stuff like that. Before that was Blastissimo, which came out on the Slow Roast USD&B Vol 1 compilation. That tune's been just kind of sitting for ages, like since maybe 2020. And I've kind of worked on it over the years. And then, we found a good place for it because it was just going to sit in basically the vault, which is my laptop, for ages. But I'm happy that came out. It's really nice. It kind of really shows kind of a more American edge to like the sound without going all like robots and, just mid bass and no actual like low end. But this isn't a rant about US drum and bass. So, fun sound from the apartment. All right, let's hope Isotope RX cleans that up. Before that was Orange Cat Rhythm on Full Fat 2 on Gold Fat, which is nice. That's another tune that like I didn't really know anything about. Not know anything, but like I didn't really have any plans for. And then the project came along, and I was like, yeah, let's just go with this kind of fun idea. Came up with the name later, of course, because the promo game is just as important as the everything else game. So, and then I just get it's the internet, so I can post stuff about cats all the time. Or my cat, who is not present in the room with me right now. He's in the other room where the window's much brighter and the sun's coming through and he's getting his... He might show up. If you're watching the video version of this, you may see him. But yeah, musically, that's kind of been it. There's like the Hospital 500 release came out. That was spaced out. Before that was nothing. Like before that was Thinking of You. And that was the last go of the podcast. Basically season 2. Because there's been like 3, this is like the 3rd comeback to this podcast. It might as well be season 1, 2, and 3, But seasons on podcasts, I don't know. Feels weird. But yeah, musically, other than that, like with the actual writing and stuff, I feel like I've become a lot more detailed. I'm starting to really nail the sound I want, and I've been going for. It's like the taste and what I want, like my skills are starting to get up to there. Kind of that battle all producers have. It's like you start off wanting to sound like Alex Perez, but you have no idea how to, chop a break, and then you start learning things, and you're almost there. Then you fully realize in all your knowledge gained over 10, 15 years of producing that you're just not Alex Perez. But the realization comes that you're just yourself, What is it? Shout out Lou and Filth. But if Break mixed down to Caliber tune, it wouldn't sound any better. So why should I worry about how my tunes sound versus someone else when I'm not that person, you know? A lot of self-realization, human stuff coming or has been happening. So I feel more confident in my music and projects. But don't let that don't let that seem like I still don't have that voice in the back of my head going, "Hey man, you should probably quit because you'll never be good enough." But like too many things have happened. I've worked too hard, not bragging, just like it is what it is. I spend my time doing this, you know. So something should come out of it, ideally, and ideally it has in a way. You never know how it's happening, but you know that it is happening in a way. It really hits you when you're like on a beach in Croatia. Yeah, clanging out tunes and hanging with the people you used to look at on the internet all day in more ways than one. Yeah, I kind of skipped ahead to the beach. But let's talk about it because a lot of shows have been happening lately as well. It's just more like if I can get like one show a month, I'm happy, especially with like my schedule of being a teacher and everything else. Like I can't teach during the week and do a show on the weekend because there's no break, there's no downtime. And it's exhausting, you know? So it's been nice. Summer happened. I was in London again and at the beach before that. I'll get into that. Then there was SD Union was again back in January. LA was a couple weeks ago. Earlier, there's a couple of shows around KC, where I am now. One back in St. Louis with BC earlier in the year, which was a ton of fun. I didn't get to hang out with him, but like I heard what he wanted and what he got up to, just like fully having like an American experience. I think like WWE was the next day, and he wanted to go like see wrestling, and then he like wanted to go like shoot guns and stuff that like Midwestern Americans do, and not that I have like once, shout out, but it's not really my thing. But it is like if you're gonna go to another place, like when in Rome, that kind of thing, right? So it was cool to see him like have a good time, then like catch up with him. Also, just very surreal, like being in my hometown and then he's there, and the only context I have for like knowing for like seeing and hanging out with Steve is like hospitality shows and stuff like that. So it's like we can go to my house and you can see where I grew up. Come on. But I don't know. It's fun. Like it's really like kind of eye opening and kind of like when you sit back and kind of think about everything that's happened, it's like, wow, there's a lot happening and like all of this is kind of built up and this isn't really like the culmination of anything. It's more just like steps along the journey kind of deal. Cause like waking up for a week straight on a beach in the sun, like playing tunes and all of that, which was hospitality on the beach this year. Yeah, that hits you in a way that like waking up at home on the weekend to clean up doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just one of those, and it's like you brought me here based on the little bloops and stuff that I make, and now I'm like, yeah, it's weird. I had a conversation, very late night conversation with Bob, just like hanging out on the beach, and like it's like pitch black, but like break is like playing over here on the stage, and there's like stuff going on, but it's just kind of like us, like very like here's the sea and here's the moon and like the breeze because it's like 3 a.m. and we're just chatting about like all this kind of stuff of like traveling and catching up because we were fans of each other for so long, and then it's like you finally meet the guy. And yeah, it was nice, but we were both saying like the same thing of like we're doing all of this based on like little bleep bloops we've been making in our rooms, especially him with the whole microphone thing. But like you get it, like it's weird and like eye opening and like self like actual I don't know, just words, you know, like just thinking about it, I'm like feeling it again. And it's crazy that all of that happened and everything that led up to that happened. And it isn't the first time that happened because we met last year in Albania, you know, and in like the feeling of like, how is this life and how are we doing this still going on? And he's been at this for much longer than I have, but like that I don't know, kind of kid-like wonder still stays. I feel like that's kind of a thing like creatives have, is just like wonder, and like everything's like, you could not that you treat every situation like the first time, but you just like, you're so open to possibility and potential, and like really being like so self-aware, because that helps your creativity, but also so self-aware that you're like, how am I here? Like everywhere. There's so many moments of like, I'm supposed to be in it, just hanging out in it. What's up? I'm supposed to be just in it, like the groove, hanging out with friends and stuff. It's normal. Like, but at the same time, I'm in a different country, way away from home, based on a hobby I've just kind of had for a little bit and worked really hard at, with no like guarantee any of this, whatever happened, any care, no one else was listening, that kind of thing. And then it's just like, you have that big, deep realization, and the next sentence is, hey man, you want to just get like a burger and just hang out over here and get a beer or get a drink, and then you got to go play a set later. And it's like, how are you supposed to be normal when you're like losing your mind at like the entire thing that's being thrown at you constantly? I guess, I mean, until you're like a veteran and you're like, oh yeah, I'm just here for the week and I'll go there and I go there. Me, this is all still new, you know? I still come back home with the cat, go teach, be Mr. Winslow, and they don't care about any of that. Some of them do, which is cool. Shout out to you few who are probably watching this and not doing your homework or your playing tests. I won't excuse it, but I'll understand. But yeah, so just like the summer was a massive changing point in my life. Another one. Shout out DJ Khaled. But yeah, a lot of things have changed for the better, for the something. Some things just are, not a positive or a negative. But I'm still here, still kicking about, and gonna make some more music and stuff like this, because this is just what I like. But yeah, like, just more and more things are just developing, and I'm just along for the ride, but I'm also kind of driving the bus at the same time. So it's interesting, but I'm glad you're all here to kind of witness it as well and kind of be along, because it's like, it's you all, you watching this. Yes, you. I'm looking at you. If you're not watching the video version, understand there's a lot of intimate eye contact going on right now. You're following me. You're seeing me. Okay. Yeah, it's you. The reason I'm still doing this. Like, I would do this if no one ever listened, but because somebody is, that somebody being you, I appreciate it. Just like straight to the heart, human to human. You know, music, creativity, all this other crap, whatever you want to call it. It's nice, but just human to human interaction. That's always what I'm for. Because no matter how dirty your bass is, or how crunchy your breaks are, or how like, yeah, all of that goes, like, we're just people just trying to have a good time with the time we have on this pale blue dot. You know what I mean? Just got dark there, but you know, you can't have dark without the light. Here off camera, there's a picture of Goldie. There's another one like up there. He told me that at a show in Portland last year. That's another thing that happened. I opened for Goldie last minute at Juice Drum and Bass. Shout out Shaman and the whole Juice team. That was so much fun. Yeah, he had a lot of things to say, a lot of things I won't repeat, just because I don't want to start some stuff. But for those of you who have talked to about it, you already know. Yeah, Kenny G. Miles Davis. Anyway, what else is there to talk about? Yeah, teaching. So it's third year of teaching. I'm still middle school, but now high school. So it's fun. It's like the booger eaters in the morning and the real kids who like the just the angsty teenagers at night, you know? The booger. Yeah. There's a couple. More like rosin eaters. Like, how many times do I have to tell a kid, like, don't eat the rosin? It's not candy. And they're like, I won't do it, Mr. Winslow. I'm not dumb. And then it's like, they'll get quiet, you know, that little moment. And then, from across the room. And guess what? The kid who said they never do it would do it. And I tell them that every time. They're like, nah, I would never. Nah, that's not me. And then just give it time. Everyone licks the rosin eventually. I haven't. But yeah, I've been at this for like 20 something years, and I've maintained the ability not to lick rosin when I was told not to. And some of these kids just like, I don't believe you. And then they have a mouth that tastes like rosin and it doesn't go away. Anyway, but yeah, it's been fun. I'm more confident of a teacher. The teaching helps these kind of things with me talking into a mic. You can tell like from the first episode till now, or like the first couple of YouTube videos till now, all the growth, just like personal growth of me being able to talk and just kind of say what I'm feeling without like, not necessarily a filter, but like not guarded in a way, just like, hey, it's on your mind, talk about it. These kind of things, like talking with your chest and staying up here and like, whatever. I don't know. But yeah, it's fun. I like it. We're coming up to a concert in a little bit. Those of you who know and like care, if you want to watch the concert, they're usually recorded, and I usually post like the links on like Patreon or something, or just like, because I shouldn't, not that I shouldn't, like it's a public kind of concert, and if you were here, you could show up and we can hang out. But it's just like, kids on the internet, social media, that kind of thing, which is why I don't post them like on my profile or anything, even though they always ask, Mr. Winslow, can you put us in a YouTube video? I'm like, no, I like my job. Not going to happen. But yeah, that's fun. Being at the high school is fun because it's less about beginners and more about like they can play and we're just doing refinement stuff. And like I get to like dig into everything I've learned over the years and like, yeah, to really, like I've said it before, like to really know and see what you know and like, what am I saying? Like teaching is a way to really know that you know what you know, like it's one thing to like know it and do it and practice and all of that, but it's another thing to be able to distill that into your information and like tell whoever needs to learn. Like the way I talk to like 7th and 8th graders isn't the way I talk to like the high schoolers, which isn't the way I talk to like adults and students that I like teach music production to at varying ages and like experience levels. But it's like really knowing how to take that information and bring it down in like a palatable way that's whoever's like whoever your student is can understand it. It's tough. Like it's hard to do or hard to catch on to. But like once you do, it's like once you can do that, it's like you obviously you know what you're talking about because you can go at all these different levels, So, I mean, that kind of ties into other stuff, later topics for later episodes about like mentoring and like one-to-ones and stuff like that. And yeah, like how many people have gotten into that since COVID and then realized they're not really teachers. They just know stuff, but like, yeah, that's not like any slight to anyone other than, well, comics is a different thing. And we're not talking about, this isn't the gossip episode. We can have one of those later, but this one's about positivity. Anyway, but yeah, teaching, life, all that kind of stuff. Some big life changes have happened, but we move and we groove and all that stuff. And I'm preparing for an even bigger one, which I haven't talked about. But in the next year, hopefully, I will be in the UK. And I really won't elaborate on that anymore, but just know like working on the visa, stuff like that. And you guys over there might see me a bit more next year and beyond. Who knows? Or I might still be here. We'll see. Without pushing this any further, that's kind of all I really want to talk about in this episode of coming back. Like, there's just been a lot of changes, a lot of stuff. Like, I always like say if I don't have like a project, like I'm working on tunes and stuff, like this is when the more creative, the kind of other things come out, the YouTube videos, the really digging into Patreon stuff, the podcast now. And I like this, just to be able to kind of chat and not really be too, I don't know, calculated or like particular with what I'm saying for editing reasons or just conciseness, but I can just chat about the thing as if you're in the room with me. Because that's kind of the coolest thing, conversation. The best thing about like traveling and meeting other DJs and other producers and like all the people and like to come out was like just chatting. Like how many people did I get to chat to just at the beach, not about music, but just get to learn about other people and their lives and like how whatever they've done up until that point brought them to the point where we're both meeting at the beach, and hanging out. That's the best part. And it's why I like podcasts and stuff. But yeah, As usual, you can follow me on all the socials at Winslow XYZ. I'm saying Z because I'm practicing for my UK life in the UK test. I'm joking, sort of. But shout out all the supporters, all of you. Yep, nothing but love, human to human, producer to producer, music to music. I don't know, ash to ashes, dust to dust. Oh, fun fact: I'm an ordained minister. So if you like have a marriage coming up, and you want your boy to say a couple words at the beginning, yeah, I'm not going to elaborate on to that. I'm just going to say me and someone were talking, and then I was like, oh yeah, you can just do that online. And then I looked, and it took 30 seconds, and now I can marry whoever I want. As in, like, be the efficient. I'm not getting married anytime soon, unless we'll see in December. But yeah, that's One's Notes, episode 19. Follow me wherever you want. If you have, not in person, but yeah, if you have questions, comment section of YouTube, socials. If you join me on Patreon, it's $3 a month for just like a support kind of tier. You get to go on the Discord. You can chat there, get more things. If you want to go up to like BSA tier for producers and stuff like that. If you want to go even higher, there's just like the mentorship thing, which is, well, you'll see. I've talked about it before. But yeah, this has been fun. I might not. Do I want to do another episode after this? Batch episodes. Nah, just let it ride. We'll see how it goes. But until then, I've been Winslow. I'm gonna stay Winslow, and you be you. Yeah, I think that's it.
What's up?
That wasn't so bad. Later.